Welcome back, everyone. Wonder what kind of cars Craig Jackson owns?
One can only imagine.
I bet they're nice.
Yeah, Corey's going to find out here this morning. Hey, Cor.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the cars in a second. First of all, this is how I like to start my day, in an office decorated all Chanel, everything. And look who's here. Carolyn Jackson is with us. Her husband, the lesser known of the duo, that would be Craig. But thanks for getting up so early for us.
Thank you for coming here
Yeah,
today.
and you've got a terrific cause that we're going to be talking about this morning, Driven Hearts. You kicked it off in January at your auction here in Scottsdale, and things have been going great guns. Let's take a little stroll. Give me the idea. What's the heart, pardon the pun, of this effort?
The heart of the effort, I'll tell you, this year I'm honored to be chairing the 59th Annual Phoenix Heart Ball. Tremendous honor here in the Valley. And what we thought we would do, each year the chairman comes up with their theme for the year. Our platform was Driven Hearts. I thought it was a natural tie-in, given the business we're in. And my husband, I thought, he puts me to work, I put him to work.
I've noticed that. He really brings down the lash when January rolls around. You're not just sitting around.
No, sir, I'm not. So what we thought we would do is we'd use the platform of Barrett-Jackson to raise awareness for heart disease and stroke. And our tagline has been slamming the brakes on heart disease and stroke. We used the platform. We had cars that were able to sell this fabulous vehicle up on the rack. We sold in January. We raised $350,000 in January in a span of about 6 minutes. And then
You have a hard time giving these cars away, though. You sell them, then people give them back. What's the deal?
We sold this vehicle, and the buyer of it donated it right back. Michelle Mousley had lost her husband to a heart attack. The car sold for $200,000. She gave it back immediately.
Wow.
Joe Riley bought the car for $100,000. He, in turn, gave it back. Someone in the crowd walked up and offered us $50,000 to support the cause. Then we went to just our next two auctions, which would be Palm Beach and Mohegan Sun. And in between those auctions, someone came to our office and gave us a matching white Corvette.
Boy, well, I'll tell you what, the Jacksons, you're the best thing to happen to the fight against heart disease in a long time. And Craig is with us this morning. Good to see you again, friend. I'm great, thank you. Now, you're standing next to one of the most iconic of the modern era vehicles, the Bugatti Veyron. It's fast, as we know.
It's fast.
You could have wrapped any car with your Driven Hearts hashtag. Why this car? What's special?
Well, I
about
thought it would pull the most attention, and when we had it at the auction with the fast sign in front of it, the idea was to have the next generation really sharing this car with the hashtag, and it worked. We were trending in the top 5 during January on Instagram with this car.
Boy,
so it was amazing. It worked, and we took it to every auction. So this has been we've been taking this on the road, and now we're coming back to Arizona, our home. We are selling these vanity plates. So we actually got a picture with Bert holding this plate that he signed.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds at the last auction, and Bert unfortunately just died of a heart attack. He was coming to Vegas, so we want to honor Bert. But we'll be selling the plates. We did a different theme for every auction, and now we're bringing it home back to Arizona after we do Vegas. So you can buy your Barrett-Jackson license plates. They are just like these. The official
Arizona
one.
state.
Yeah, right from the state of Arizona.
If you don't live in the state of Arizona, and these plates are placed on every vehicle that are at the auction.
Gotcha,
So
we've seen
done
them.
Driven, we've done Fast, which are the warning signs for stroke, and going into Vegas, we're doing Strong.
Well, hold that right there, just as you are. You two look like the picture that comes from in the frame when you're buying the frame at the store.
Look at that.
All right, well, more coming your way from the home of all the fun, where the Jacksons hang out when they're not at the auction, Craig's Man Cave. We'll take a tour of some of his other vehicles, and it's always fun to be around this family. So more coming your way in just a couple of minutes.
AZAM is back.
Welcome back. Well, Corey's checking out some cool cars this morning, and as you mentioned, a cool couple.
Yeah, what do you got, Cor?
Oh, everybody loves the Jacksons, you're right, and this car, we showed it a little bit earlier. We'll try to finish up the segment with Craig talking about this amazing vehicle and its amazing history, but for now, we're talking about the Heart Ball, and Carolyn is the chairman, chairwoman, what are we these days? Chair people? Chairhuman.
Chairhuman.
Of the Heart Ball.
The chairman.
And it's coming up when?
It is November 17th at the Phoenician.
And it is really, it's the premier black tie event of the season. You hear about it all over town. Let's take a little stroll as we walk here. Tell tell me, what's going to be happening this year? What can people expect when they show up?
This year, the big emphasis is we'd like to highlight how the funds raised in Arizona impact Arizona. And we have an incredible governor who passed legislation that mandates that CPR must be learned by graduating high school students. So what we've been doing, and any other business can do here in town, is they can support the CPR in school program. And what we do, you take these kits, we go out to high schools, Craig's been a part of it, and we go out and engage in the training programs here. So that's one of the ways, and one way in particular I like, and forgive the pun, it's a very hands-on way to be involved with the Phoenix Heartball and teaching these students. We had a high school student, since he was trained, his football coach had a heart attack and he was able to save him on the field that day. So we think it's important. The funds are staying here, and we thank Governor Ducey for helping us in passing that legislation.
Yeah. Oh, who are your friends, by the way?
Forgive me. Oh, this is McKenna Wesley, who works on our PR committee, and Susie Wesley, who is a past Heartball chairman, who was instrumental in hospitals now. Children do not leave the hospital without what, Susie? What do they get?
Infant CPR kits. Infant CPR kits. That was my platform in 2007. Long time ago. But I've remained involved.
Yeah, well, you know what Carolyn's going through now as she ramps up to the Heartball.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What advice do you have for her? She seems all put together, but inside she's roiling, isn't she? She's falling apart.
She is truly, she has done an amazing job. She's remained calm. She has really had the fantastic support of her husband and Barrett Jackson, and it's really been amazing what she's done for the American Heart Association and helping to eradicate heart disease and stroke.
Well, there will be a lot of money raised. And by the way, how do you get tickets? How does all that happen?
Thank you for asking that question. To attend the Phoenix Heartball, either attend or to be a sponsor, please go to phoenixheartball.heart.org.
Okay, very good. All right, well, Carolyn, thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up with your husband here. Let's head back into where, well, for me, where the fun lies. And Craig, we just have about a minute and a half left, but give us a primer on this, on Little Red, as it's called, this very iconic and such an important car.
It's very important. We made these little flyers to show, this was the last picture of it before we found it at the Riverside Raceway back in 1967. That's how everybody remembers Little Red. And every book, article written that it was crushed. Well, when we started restoring its sister car, the Green Hornet, we said, we found more paperwork. We found an inventory sheet, 1969, which made us wonder if it was crushed, why was it still in inventory? And it had the Ford VIN number. And the Ford VIN number is on both fenders here. And we ran it through all 50 states, and we found the car that way, and then went on social media. But we're also using social media and crowdsourcing to try to find out more. We've created a website, shelbyprototypecoups.com, and we have actually been getting all sorts of information from doing this, now using the internet to help us find out information about the car. And
why was it so important to quickly give us the Carroll Shelby connection?
Well, they made 3 cars in ss'ty-seven, and they made a coupe, a convertible, and a fastback as prototypes. This was the engineering car. It was the only 428 4-barrel car to come off the assembly line in a coupe. It was then supercharged, and rumors are, and we're looking for pictures, that at one point it had 2 superchargers on it. It was an engine and transmission development car, but what was never known until we found the car was that they had actually reskinned the car, made it a 68. But now that we're going through the car, you're realizing it's half 67 prototype stuff, half 68 prototype stuff. So
just like a Johnny Cash song almost.
It's a real cool story. And it was a very famous car. You know, in the Shelby Register, they give you a paragraph about a car. This car has 7 pages, so it's pretty important.
Well, when it's finally restored to its former glory, you know you'll be seeing it on the air with you sometime soon. Craig Jackson, thank you so much. Remember, the Heartball coming up on the 17th of November, so get your tickets and get your tuxedo brushed off and your long gown too. It's going to be a great night. That's it for us, you guys. See you soon.
Sure, yeah.